Hey everyone, thank you for joining us here today. As you are aware, my name is Matthew Dyer. I'm going to be bringing you through this webinar today. Thank you for joining us on your Tuesday, whether it is your afternoon or evening, wherever you might find yourself around the world. We got a nice little webinar for you today. It's a shorter one, so I think we should probably be getting through pretty quickly. So apologies for the late start, but I don't think we will take too much of your time here today. So I think we should be going about 20, 25 minutes in length. We're essentially showing you guys something very small, but very important in terms of the platform on both the mobile device and the online platform that's normally done through your desktop. We're going to be showing you guys exactly how to pick an asset class to leverage. Very important thing to do, obviously. Knowing what you're trading is extremely important. So this webinar will be rather beginner in nature, if you have to say that. So it's definitely going to be made for individuals that are first starting off on the platform. Apologies to individuals that may find this as repetition, but it's definitely going to be important, and it's definitely going to be a good setup because tomorrow we definitely are running, again, a little bit more advanced trading webinar when it comes to live trading. That's going to be the trading of the FOMC news announcement. That's coming out tomorrow. I believe that's just around 9 or 10 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken, Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So if you are looking to join that and you have a live account, definitely do that because we're going to be going over the live trading event for the FOMC announcement. The live trading events do make traders quite a bit of profit. And it gives you a chance to look at how to trade a news event and how to trade the technical analysis after the news event. So for individuals looking for a more advanced webinar, that's definitely going to be there tomorrow. But today we're going to be looking at exactly when and what you should be trading, and ultimately what asset classes go with your style of trading. So if you're looking to trade more fundamental news announcements, what you stick to. If you're looking to trade more technical analysis, scalp the market, quick little gains, quick short profits, we're going to show you what to do as well. So all that's going to be covered here today. And then we're going to be doing a short little demo just on the online platform. Obviously, we can't really do a demo on the xmobile platform because it is, of course, on my phone, and this is, of course, on my computer. So, but I'm going to be showing you guys some screenshots from my phone that I've done earlier today, just so you can see exactly how to use the mobile platform. I think it's very, very important to do that. So. We're going to be showing you guys choosing asset classes and obviously then getting you set up for the Signal webinar tomorrow. So we're going to be going over what is an asset class, where to pick the asset class you want, what asset class is obviously right for you, and how to leverage it with our webinar occurring tomorrow. So only about 4 things that you should be walking away with, but what's really important for you guys is to know exactly what to pick and when. We've mentioned a few times on our webinars the importance of looking at something called the DAX, which is the German stock index, the DE30. It's basically an overall measure of the top 30 companies currently listed on the German stock exchange and their ultimate market value. The swings of it are huge. It jumps by not only pips, but like 200 to 300 pips a second. So if you think about that, it takes Euro USD, a pretty massive news shift. That's your typical traded currency, to shift that amount in a given day. This adjusts it and covers that spread in a very short period of time. So it's definitely 2 opposing factions that you can definitely trade. And we want to show you guys exactly what's right for your current overall balance, and exactly what you should be looking at if you're a beginner, if you get a little bit more intermediate, and if you're obviously looking to get with the pro level. Each of them are beneficial in their own right. The things like stock indices and ETFs, they're definitely good for more advanced individuals when you do start trading the more, when you are able to actually coordinate with one of our members and try to figure out what's exactly good for you. But the main thing to think about is the fact that things like the German stock index, the DE30, the US 100, the S&P 500, the CAC 40 index, the French index, those are all available to you as a trader, but you really need to devise a good strategy and really stick to a stop loss and take profit when you're doing that, because they do trend, but there is the odd time that it will trend in the exact opposite direction that you think. So you want to make sure that you know exactly how much you're willing to lose on every trade that you enter into. And that's one of the smartest things you can do as a trader, is obviously figure out before you get into the trade exactly what you're planning on potentially losing in this trade. That's the best way to really think about it. It's not exactly a fun way of thinking about it, but you know exactly what you're standing to lose on every trade, and that's extremely important at the end of the day, because you should only be willing to trade what you're willing to lose at the end of the day. It's a really smart way of thinking about it, because then you'll never be too upset and beat yourself up too much, because you'll never actually put a lot of emotion into it. And we figure it's just kind of a known fact that when it comes to trading, if you leave emotion out of it, those are the more successful traders. Don't beat yourself up over a loss. Don't get too overconfident when you win. And all that kind of stuff really helps you out at the end of the day. It's definitely a good beginner strategy to have when you're moving forward. Always make sure you got those stop losses and take profits in place. So if you guys get out of this webinar and you're extremely pumped to start trading on a different asset class than you were before, say you were sticking to currencies and now you're all pumped up to go trade Facebook or Apple or the DE30, whatever, make sure that you still stick to the fundamental principles of setting a stop loss, setting a take profit, taking emotion out of it. All those key trading strategies are still going to be definitely an asset when it comes to trading a higher volume asset like the DE30. So it is definitely exciting, and we've definitely done it for you guys in the past, and I've received a lot of questions on exactly what it is, how to pick it, how to get it on your trading instrument. So we're going to show you guys exactly how to do that today. It is really fun too at the same time, because it allows you to actually see the gains immediately on your screen. It's very difficult to see that when you're looking at something like Euro USD, because the gains are so small, especially if you're just trading it on a technical analysis side. If you're trading on a fundamental analysis side and you're looking at something like the employment data coming out in the US complex, then you're going to be seeing massive jumps and massive shifts. It's good that you're seeing that, because that obviously means profit on a lot of trades, but it could mean negativity on a lot of trades too, because it's going to be one massive shift upward or downward. When it comes to the DE30, these shifts are huge and they jump around a lot. So there's always going to be a high point and a low point for every single candlestick chart that you look at. And it's extremely important to do that, because the DE30 is jumping around a lot, while a currency you can't really take a look at. You kind of got to take a trade on it, walk away, see what happens. But the DE30, if you have your phone open and you're trading it, you can definitely look to make some small gains and get out of the trade right away. So that option is definitely there. So these are the two main ways to look at the asset classes for both the desktop and the mobile version. On the right-hand side, you're going to see the mobile version. That's the mobile platform, obviously. You can see the little phone captions at the top of the screen there. But so you're going to have the options on this side to look at the FX, commodities, indices, equities, ETFs. They're all available on the right-hand side there, and we're going to go through some of them today with you. And then the left-hand side, this is just an increased zoom of a small little box that you get when you open up the desktop version on Forex for the first time. The box is actually on the left-hand side. Traders will recognize it as the kind of live ticker symbol. That is very similar to what you're seeing on the mobile device here on the right. It's essentially just showing the prices in real time, the buy and the sell, the bid and the ask. They're showing those all in live time right in front of you. So we're going to be looking at both. Specifically for the live side, we're going to be hopping on the demo so you guys can see it. The demo is obviously basically verbatim what the live platform is, so it's really no problem. And then on the mobile side, obviously we're just going through some screenshots to show you guys. So let's go look at the mobile first. If you guys haven't downloaded the mobile app already, it's extremely important to do so. I'm sure a large amount of you are currently watching this on your computer or your desktop or your laptop or whatever. So you have the ability to obviously kind of go through with it on your mobile device as you're watching the webinar. So I definitely recommend that if you guys have your phones. This is the classroom that you can bring out your phones in. So definitely go up on your app store, whether or not it's Apple or Google Play. Download that mobile app. It's super important because it's definitely going to save you a lot of time and going to allow you to take advantage of some asset classes that you would otherwise not be able to if you were trading with the desktop, because obviously a lot of individuals out there use this as their second income. There are definitely some individuals that use this as their primary source of income. Trading kind of makes them all the money they need in the world. But there are a lot of individuals nowadays, especially with the proliferation of trading platforms and the availability to everybody through the internet and whatnot, that they use it as a secondary income. So it's super important to have the mobile device, because you can't carry around a computer with you all day, but it's very easy to carry around your cell phone. So it definitely allows you to kind of get into trades really quickly, view the trades, what are making money, what's not making money, and get out of them right away. So I'm going to bring up an example that we used on the last mobile webinar that we did. It was quite interesting because as I was actually making the webinar, we saw a trade that I was placing, for example, benefit. And I did it basically just by trading something that was trending, and it made a good amount of gains, which is very easy to do when you're trading on your mobile app. Specifically, if you're looking to just make short gains in the market, it's super easy on your mobile device. So these are a couple different screenshots of different commodities and a range of different things that you can trade. You can see here that in order to shift between them on your mobile device, it's very easy. You just click on simple, exactly what these guys are up here. So what are these guys? FX stands for foreign exchange, obviously. That's essentially the measure of a particular currency, the value of a particular currency on the market. That's what we're looking at in the middle chart right here. So that's FX. For those of you that don't understand what this is, so those very basic individuals, don't worry. If you've never looked at it before, you're definitely, there's a ton of people out there that have no idea what AUD USD means or anything like that. Don't worry. We've all felt the same way as soon as we've got on the platform. I'm sure there's some individuals out there that, maybe it looks totally normal, but when they first started, it was definitely gibberish. So let's look at the Euro USD. So in order to understand exactly the value of a particular currency at a given time, you're always going to have to look at the currency when compared to another currency. So if we look at something like Euro USD is the biggest traded currency currently on the market, the biggest traded currency pair. It's definitely the most popular one currently on the platform. So if you're looking for something to shift around quite a bit, I definitely recommend either looking at Euro USD. The other pair that we're actually going to look on the platform right now too, that's had a lot of particular, it's definitely had its spotlight right now this week for reasons of the Brexit as well as the yen, is GBP JPY, which is the Great Britain pound when compared to the Japanese yen. So that's another particular currency that you could take advantage of. But if you're looking to trade currencies and you're literally just at the beginner level, I definitely recommend looking at Euro USD. It's one of the most traded currency pairs out there. It's a really good reflection of both the European economy and the United States. So one of the two biggest economies, and there's definitely just a bevy of information all around the world that's going to show you exactly how those two economies are performing. The European economy is normally always tied to Germany. Germany is European Union, or the EU's massive cash cow. They're basically, if Germany's performing, the euro's going up. If Germany's not performing, the euro's going down. And we're going to actually look at kind of like an inverse relationship with the DE30, which is the German stock index, shortly thereafter. So Euro USD is huge. The U.S. economy, that's basically always typically, you'll see the U.S. economy always fluctuate when it comes to the labor market, especially right now. The big thing with the U.S. right now is whether or not we're going to see a rate hike this summer. So you've probably seen that news information everywhere. The U.S. is considering hiking their interest rate once again. The interest rate has a huge effect on the currency because it affects the amount of currency currently in play, because it affects the overnight bank rate that they're actually allowing, currencies and loans and whatnot. So for those of you individuals that are totally confused by it, it comes back to a very simple principle of when the interest rate goes up, so they hike the interest rate, that's going to cause the value of the dollar to increase. So if the U.S. hikes the rate, it's going to cause the value of the dollar to increase. If they cut the rate, then it's going to cause the value to go down. So when you saw the Canadian dollar absolutely plummet in value near basically, what was it? Almost this time last year, it started plummeting in value. The Canadian banks saw the massive oil crisis that was looming, so they cut the interest rate twice, and it caused the Canadian dollar to just plummet and tank. So that's why the USD CAD is at a pretty horrendous range right now, and it's been hovering around there for a long time. I think it's at $1.26 right now, USD CAD, which is actually like pretty good considering how horrible it got. It almost got to $1.50, which is nuts. I'm Canadian, so I definitely feel it when it's when the Canadian economy is hurting like that. It's always tough to see. Anyways, back to Euro USD. So the Euro USD, if you are confused as to why there's two particular currency denominations, going back to our original point here, you have to compare one currency with another. If we just look at euro, so say we just look at the euro, it's always going to be equal to 1 euro. It's never going to change value. The euro is always equal to a euro. You have to compare it to another currency in order to actually see the value of it shifting. So that's why a lot of individuals look at the USD as their secondary source to compare a currency. You'll see it a lot here. AUD USD, Euro USD, GPB USD, NZD USD. USD is a very common currency to compare your currency against. So Euro USD means this is the current value of a euro in US dollars. So how many US dollars does it take to purchase a euro? So whenever you see a currency, the first currency pair is going to be equal to 1. Okay, it's always going to be equal to 1. The second currency is the one that's changing. So let's look at a different one. Let's look at USD CAD. So the USD is flipped here, right? The USD was at the back of Euro USD, but now it's at the front of USD CAD. So that may be a little confusing to some individuals, but that's a different evaluation. So here we're looking at the euro, right? We're comparing the euro in US dollars. But here, however, we're comparing the we're evaluating the value of the US dollar in Canadian dollars, right? So here, USD is equal to 1, and the Canadian dollar is the thing that's changing. So how many Canadian dollars does it take to purchase a single United States dollar? Well, at this time, it took $1.2847, right? So 47 fractions of a cent. So it's about $1.28 Canadian to buy a US dollar at that specific time. Hopefully that makes sense to guys. I know it's a little confusing at first, but eventually the more you trade, the more you see, the more it's going to become second nature. When you're looking at a particular currency denomination first, that's what you're looking at. So say you're looking at Euro USD and it's tanking, that means the value of the euro is going down. If you're looking at Euro USD and it's going up, that means the value is going up. So it's always the first currency is the thing that you're evaluating. So try to remember that. Again, it's a little confusing to individuals. The thing that is very simple, if you look at commodities, it's not currently on there, but commodities are the next thing. That's when you're just looking at a simple good like oil, silver, gold. That's pretty simple to a lot of individuals. I find that when people first start trading on our on our trading side, for our Forex side, they tend to go over to commodities. It definitely is something you can trade. Commodities do shift quite a bit. The only bad thing about trading commodities is that it's dependent on the markets. The commodity markets do close at times. Particularly different goods you're looking at. If you're looking to trade coffee for like an agricultural good, the markets close quite often. So you're definitely limited to where you live in terms of where you can trade commodities. So it's a good area to stick to. Gold definitely shifts a lot. It's a big safe haven asset. Whenever anybody thinks the world economy is going to the garbage, they always dump their money into gold. It's definitely something that's traded quite consistently as well with oil. Oil is traded all the time too. Especially recently because oil's been on a crazy tear up and down recently with a lot of different things going on. Normally global instability is a really good way to trade oil. Whenever there's a lot of geopolitical tensions in the world, oil tends to go up or down because people get worried about the supply routes of oil getting cut off when there's a war, particularly in the Middle East. Whenever you see tensions in the Middle East and people are worried about supply routes getting cut off, it causes the price of oil to jump because people are worried about less supply. So less supply equals a higher price. That's definitely what you can stick to if you're looking at commodities. If you're looking to Forex, I definitely recommend sticking to something like Euro USD. It's definitely a good commodity to look at. Okay, so let's look at equities. Equities are what you think they are. They're stocks. So also really cool to trade. Again, you're limited by the exchange being open and when the exchange is closed. But you can trade anything on our platform, including various stocks of massive companies like Facebook. You see FB.US, that's the Facebook stock. Apple.US, that's also the Apple stock, right? So Facebook is doing quite well right now. They're definitely a really highly traded commodity on our platform, or equity on our platform. Facebook is really cool. They're basically taking over the game in terms of marketing right now. All marketing is going to be done on Facebook eventually, especially with the advent of them taking over Instagram. So Facebook stock is definitely heading up. It's going to be really, really cool. It's something going to be competing with Google in terms of the overall marketing platform that people use when they want to start targeting individuals. So Facebook is a really cool one to look at, FB.US. Simply by going to equities. It's going to be coming up for a lot of individuals when they first go on that equity platform. Indices, again, on the left-hand side here, if you guys look, those are basically looking at the massive stock indices out there, like the Italian 40, the CAC 40, that's the FRA 40. It's looking at basically the top companies in the game for those particular areas and evaluating, their overall value. So if the overall valuation of the top 30 companies in Germany is going down, then that's a pretty good indication that the world economy is going down or the economy in Germany is going down, if you're evaluating the overall stock price of those massive economies. So the DE30 is definitely one of the biggest traded instruments on our platform, another massive asset class that individuals choose to trade. It's because it fluctuates so much and it has a very inverse relationship with Euro USD. So we're going to show you guys why that is in just a second. The last thing is ETF. ETF is exchange traded fund. A little bit trickier, but if you're looking at bond yields or treasury notes, that's exactly where you go for ETFs. Definitely not traded very much on our platform. It's kind of have to be your own little niche that you eventually carve out in order to start trading ETFs. But what I definitely tend to stick to and what I would recommend people to stick to if you're going to be trading FX, stick to Euro USD. If you're going to be trading indices, I really like the DE30. The US 500 is also a really good one to stick to. It fluctuates quite a bit. If you're going to be doing commodities, try to look at oil, try to look at gold. Those definitely change a lot depending on geopolitical tensions and safe haven yields. And indices, it really, equity, it really depends on what you guys want to trade, but I really like Facebook right now. I think Facebook is a great buy for individuals looking to get into a stock. So that's what I typically recommend, and I think the levels that you guys should try to stick to. So if you're new to the market, stick to commodities, stick to Forex. For Forex, look at Euro USD. It's one of the biggest traded ones, and you should be good to go from there. Eventually, you can work up to things like indices, which make you money quick. Also give you a little bit more exposure in the market quick. And then if you're looking at equities, you can looking to stick to something at a long-term scale, like sticking to Facebook for a long time. So let's keep moving on. I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves for timing here, but that's okay. So looking to place an order on the mobile app, it's extremely simple. Once you press something like Euro USD, you're going to see it basically bloat up here. And you're going to see just a buy and a sell and the spread in the middle and the lot size in the middle too. So that's the amount of contract that you want to place. Again, if you have a smaller account balance, something like 250, 500, make sure you stick at 0.1, 0.15 lot size. That's really, really important, especially when you first start trading. You don't want to overexpose yourself in the market, especially if you have a lower account balance. So make sure you stick to that. So you can see here, this is an example of me sticking to Euro USD. I did that not too long ago. So I sold. If you sell something, you're obviously predicting it as going down in value. This should be quite simple to you guys. Sell, red, means you're predicting it as going down. Buy, green, means you're predicting it as going up. So I sold it. You get a open order. You click yes. And then right away, you just scroll your finger on the right-hand side of your screen, and you're going to see this white page come up, and it's going to show you the profit that the trade's making. So you can see right away I was looking to make some money on Euro USD. I basically was just looking at the trend. So look at Euro USD. It's a lot of red. It's really trending downward. And that's something that the mobile app allows you to see. So if you go to the chart, which is basically just clicking this chart right here, this little candlestick pattern here will bring up the chart. You'll be able to see exactly how it's trending. So I noticed that Euro USD was really trending downward. So I sold it. And right away I made a little profit. It definitely jumped down quite a bit. And then I wanted to basically show you guys something, and the profit went back up a little bit. So I wasn't making as much. You guys can see it down on the bottom here. Wasn't making as much, but I was still making an okay amount. So then I wanted to show you guys basically how to place a stop loss and a take profit. For those of you that were on my webinar last week, you'll know that this is quite simple. In order to do this, basically you just click on the three little dots here on the left-hand side. I'll show you guys just in just a second here. Sorry. The three little stripes right here, that brings up your overall menu. You can see here on the left-hand side. You simply click on your orders in order to bring up your position. So I clicked on orders. I brought my positions up. I had a sell lot. As you can see, it's that position I just took. And I was down slightly. So the graph moved up a bit, totally fine. We all know that when trends occur, they don't move in a direct diagonal line. It's normally up and down. So my profit was a little bit down. So I then proceeded to modify my position, created a stop loss and a take profit. Again, definitely something that you guys need to do on all your trades. Super, super simple. We have webinars dedicated to showing you guys how to do this on both the mobile app as well as the live app. So definitely stay tuned and check out our YouTube channel if you need any more information on that. Then after that, I check back in about 30 minutes. You can see the time difference here. If you look at the time difference, it was at 5 o'clock. I was down a little bit, and then about 30 minutes later, boom, up $22. So you guys can see that was just as I was doing the webinar. I identified a trend with Euro USD through my mobile device and sold it, and within that time frame I was profiting about $22 on the trade. So It's definitely a very powerful tool to use, especially when you're trying to trade something like Euro USD on the go. I definitely recommend sticking to it. If you're going to see small gains like this, $20, $40 over the course of a day, maybe, as long as there's no massive news announcements coming out. But it's definitely a way that you guys can profit quick, and especially if you're new to the game, it's definitely something I would tend to stick to, because obviously you're going to be using this as a secondary income, so you're going to be needing to use your mobile device plus trade something that has a tendency to move, but not move too much, which is kind of amplified in Euro USD. So definitely check that out. Trade that on your mobile device. Make sure you have a minimal amount of positions open depending on your account balance, and hopefully you guys can make some money on xmobile. So now we're going to look at the actual platform. So let's hop back on to the platform right here, and let's go into my account that I have. Okay, yeah, so obviously you guys would be surprised how many people kind of mess up the first step of this, but if you're looking to log into your demo account, simply go to demo account. If you go with your live account and you're looking to get in your demo account, it's not going to work. Okay, you got to go to demo account if you're looking to get in your demo account, live account if you're looking to get in your live account, obviously. You'd be surprised how many people mess up that step. Okay, so we're in here. I just got a new account, so we got a fresh balance here for our demo account. Let's let this guy load up. 100 grand, account balance is looking swollen. So we got our stats up right here. So as you can see, that zoom in page that I have is on the left-hand side here. So that is basically where you're going to see all your available instruments to trade like you had on your mobile device, but this is now on your online platform. So you're going to see these all on the left-hand side here. You'll recognize a DE30, you'll recognize a US 500, you recognize all of these, right? Gold, silver, all the commodities and indices are here now. So now that you guys know what those are, come on, now you know what the platform is, right? So on the left-hand side, this should look a little bit more manageable now if it didn't before. This is basically just showing all the different types of trading instruments or trading classes that you can use. At the same time, these colors are also a very powerful indicator. If something is staying red for a long time, you know that it's trending in a certain direction. Much like the mobile app will show you what is red or green, red or blue is the same thing. So if something's consistently red, you know that it's trending downward. Like the DE30 here, it's sticking to red. 95 normally means that it's downward, so there's a good chance the DE30 is trending downward right now. Gold sticking up at blue. It's definitely not moving a lot, but you could probably see that it's definitely trending upward. So that's the different ways to see what currencies are currently available to you. There's so many out there. You guys can see coffee, silver, oil. Those are all commodities. That's why it's CMD on the left-hand side of it. The indices, obviously, there's the CAC 40, the FRA 40. That's the French indice. All these should be definitely familiar with you guys now. So you can scroll there, see what ones are changing the most, see what ones are being traded the most. Obviously, the Spanish indice is currently closed. That's why it's in white. And if you ever want to add anything else, simply click add, but the majority of what you want to trade is right here. Below is just your open positions, and this is just your candlestick chart of what you're looking at. So hopefully this is going to be, now that you kind of saw it on a much simpler version on the mobile device, and now that we've hopped back onto the platform, hopefully it should be a little bit more manageable for you guys. But I was going to make some trades just to show you guys some tips and tricks. So we saw Euro USD on the mobile device before. So obviously it's definitely a good way of making some cash quickly if you're looking at Euro USD. What you notice on the mobile device is that when it looks at a particular chart, it's looking at it at a very small time scale. So that's something that you can definitely adjust while you're on your platform here, is the time frame for each candlestick. So when you're looking at a candlestick, I'll zoom in here a bit, you're going to see that each of them are different, right? There's little candlesticks. They're all different candlesticks, and that's why it's called the candlestick charting, because it's all candlesticks. So what do these represent? Well, they represent a time frame. So when you see candlestick chart here and then M15, hopefully you guys can guess what that means. It means that each candlestick chart represents a particular time frame. It represents 15 minutes. So you can change that though. So I hope this is something that people don't realize, is that you can change that on the mobile platform, or sorry, on the online platform. Mobile platform is a little trickier, but it's still good because it examines it in such a small time frame that you can see small little trends that break out. Here you can see massive trends. So let's look at a daily chart. So each candlestick chart represents a day. So Euro USD, what is this telling us? Maybe it tells us that currently the euro is trending downward, right? See this little trend pattern right now? maybe Euro USD is consistently trending downward. The DE30, if we look at a daily chart, what is the DE30 telling us on a daily chart? Well, it's a little difficult right now, but you can see the past 4 days have been very bad for the DE30. Past 5 days, they've all been white. That means that on the day, they've gone down in value. So on the day, they've gone down in value, right? See? If we look at something like USD CAD in the daily chart, let's see what that tells us. Well, it was trending down pretty big time for a good period of time here. That means the Canadian dollar was definitely making some movement on the United States dollar. Then there was a rally. This is when individuals thought there was going to be a rate hike, and now it's trending back downward. So now there's a little bit of a boost up, but it may be a very good time to take a short position on USD CAD because this might be representing a breakout line. You see here how if we look at the daily chart, it's pretty obvious, right? It's white, and then it's blue, and then it kind of does this zigzag lightning pattern. You see what I mean? So maybe we're in the midst of another one right here. Maybe this is another lightning pattern breakout. It could be a really good time to short USD CAD. So it's really important when you're looking at these candlestick chartings to adjust your time frames because you're going to see things that you wouldn't see elsewise, which is a really good idea when you're also trading on your mobile device to come on your platform and check out these massive overall charts because they tell you something different when you look at every other chart. Especially if you're looking at a technical analysis standpoint. So Euro USD and the DE30. This is the last little bit I'm going to share with you guys, and then I'm going to let you guys go, okay? So the DE30, it represents the German stock index. Normally, what you see when you look at the DE30 is the inverse relationship with the Euro USD. So if you guys go to social, and if you're ever on a social webinar, the people that trade social and the top traders in social are almost always trading the DE30. And it's insane. And you're more than welcome to go into your live accounts and check that out. I'm not kidding you. About maybe I'd say 95% of the top traders in the game trade the DE30. They trade the German stock index because of how much it fluctuates. And it fluctuates a perfect degree. It's not too much of overexposure and it's not too much underexposure. You have the exact right amount of exposure to make a good amount of profit if you're just looking to scalp the market. And we've done webinars where we've actually done that with you guys. And that kind of sparked a lot of interest that we had in the DE30 in the first place. So it's kind of not the best time to trade it right now. It is still good to trade it when it's in the European market hours, which just ended. So that's why it's not moving too much right now. But if you look at it during the European market hours, it is bouncing around quite a bit. And if you take a position out, so I have a lot in my account balance, but say we were looking to, we had an account balance of maybe like 500 to 1,000, say. Then I would definitely not recommend trading any more than a 0.1 lot, especially on the DE30. The DE30 actually allows you to go less than that, but if you're trading around 250, 500, I definitely recommend sticking out around a 0.1 lot. So you can see here that the 5-minute chart is telling us that the last 10 minutes it's been going down. And it may be in the midst of a bit of a lightning pattern here, right? It may be going down again. So let's take a short position on the DE30 here. It's rejecting my price. That's fantastic. Okay, great. 1 second here. Let's figure out why it's doing that. Okay, good. We got it. So yeah, we got our position out right here. We had to take a little bit of a bigger one because the demo account obviously has a pretty large account balance. I don't think it wanted us to waste our time on a 0.1 lot. That's fine though. So we have our position open right now. So you're going to see it fluctuate quite a bit, especially on a 0.3 lot contract. So that's why, obviously, look, in 2 seconds I'm down $30. That's why I really recommend sticking to a smaller contract when you're trading the DE30. You're going to see it jump around quite a bit. But if you stick to a 0.1 lot contract, you're going to see it jump into profitability very, very quickly, and you're going to have the opportunity to exit out of that trade. So if you're looking at the past 5 minutes, you're going to be able to see exactly where it's heading. For it to take a huge turn upward right now would be an absolute shock. It would be totally out of character for a charting pattern to do that. So it allows you to kind of take a peek at it, and that's how you kind of trade it at the same time. If you're just looking to make short gains on the DE30, that's definitely how you do it. If you're looking at using it in conjunction with Euro USD, whenever the Euro is trending downward, that generally means, like the day here, you see that the Euro has been trending down on the day, right? This is a daily pattern if we're looking at the candlestick charting. Whenever the Euro has been trending downward, that you're normally going to see the DE30 be increasing in value. And that's kind of an overall pattern to stick to. And why is that? Well, it's because the German stock index, the German country is heavily involved in imports. So when the price of the euro goes down, it makes these companies a lot more successful because they're able to essentially sell their products at a better premium when the euro is at a less cost. So their sales increase when the euro is cheaper. So whenever you see the euro go down in value, the D30 goes up in value because these companies actually increase in value. But the relationship isn't as powerful as something like oil CAD, like the oil and the Canadian dollar. They're directly related. Whenever you see a massive line going down in terms of oil, you're going to see a massive line going down in terms of Canadian dollar. They're related directly. So the euro, USD, or the euro and the DE30, they're inversely related. So whenever you see one going down, the other is going up, but it's not going to be going up in the exact same motion. It's going to be going generally up. So whenever you see the euro going down on the day, you can normally guess that the DE30 will always finish in the inverse position if it hasn't already made those maneuvers. So it's a good thing to think about, especially that's how traders make a lot of their money on the DE30. They stick in it for little small gains, or they trade it inversely with the euro. So that's a good little trick, especially if you're on the platform. It's going to allow you to view these charts in a way better fashion than something on the mobile device would allow you to do. So using asset classes, let's summarize this just so you guys have this right now. If you're sticking to something like the DE30 and you're trading an index, it's generally more powerful if you tend to stick to your computer. If you're trying to trade on your mobile device, then I tend to recommend that individuals stick to something smaller like the Euro USD. Because if you're trading on your mobile device and you're looking to just make small gains on your mobile device, the Euro USD will allow you to, not expose yourself too much in the market. If you trade on the DE30 and the trade starts fluctuating in the opposite direction, it's quite difficult to navigate it. So you may panic, you may press the wrong button, you may change your position, you may close your position. It's really easy to panic on a little small mobile device. But if you're looking at something like Euro USD, the gains and the losses are going to be so small that it's going to be way more manageable than something like the DE30. If you're going on your computer, then I tend to recommend to individuals, especially if they have an account balance of, somewhere around the $1,000 range, look at the DE30. There's going to be times when the market trends in directions on the DE30 and you can look to get in and get out at really small gains for yourself. It's just a matter of time before the market really starts pointing downward again here, and I can guarantee you that if it really trends down not even that many pips, I'm going to be up quite a few dollars. So that might be 109 pips, which is 92 USD, but that could fluctuate in just a matter of seconds. See, I'm already at profitability right now. I'm up $11. If I really wanted to get out of the trade, I could, and then I could take the inverse of the position. I could retake the position. It really allows you to just get in and get out at really small gains. So I unfortunately missed it. I only got $1.68, but still I'm up $1.68 on the day, so I can go buy myself a can of pop. Okay, guys, I hope that webinar was informational and beneficial for all of you guys. I know we kind of covered a wide range of topics, but at the end of the day, the most important thing when you're choosing an asset class is going to be really depending on what device you're using. If you're using your mobile device and you're tending to stick to your mobile device, I definitely recommend looking at currencies. It's very simple and it's very easy to see what's trending on a currency and make little small gains. If you're looking to trade on your computer, then I definitely recommend looking at something like an index like the DE30 because that's going to allow you to make these really small short-term gains and short-term profits in a very, very small period of time. And if you're looking at the DE30, make sure to check and keep your eye on the euro because that's going to inversely reflect on the position of the DE30 on the day. So a good rule of thumb. And if you guys are looking to trade, on the live trading event tomorrow, you can see that this is actually a calendar from the platform. It was taken on my demo account just seconds ago. You can see the amount of data that's coming out for the US tomorrow. Absolutely insane. Look at that. Look at all the crazy market moving US data that's coming out tomorrow. It's nuts. So the US is going to have a huge field day tomorrow with all this data. It's going to be just bouncing around like crazy. So we're going to be covering in a live trading event tomorrow for individuals with live accounts. So if you don't have a live account, definitely recommend on doing that super quickly because you want to make sure you get in for this. This is going to be a lot of movement in the market. And if you guys are using your mobile device, which I recommend you do, you're going to be able to watch the webinar in live on your computer while on something like EuroUSD or USD CAD on your mobile device, looking to get in and out of these gains or in and out of these trades quick and make these gains. So it's going to be absolutely perfect for those individuals that are looking to trade on their mobile device during this event. It's going to be fantastic. So if you're looking to do that, we have, I think it's about people that are members of Currency House will know that we did offer a surprise equity bump today. It was a 100% bonus. The last time we had a 100% bonus offered to the public, I think it was about a month or two ago, and we only offer a certain amount of seats for the equity bump. I know a lot of them have been taken already. I think there's only 4 or 5 seats remaining. So if you're looking at taking advantage of the equity bump, definitely let us know. Send an email to info@Currency House and get on that right away, and definitely get into a live account as soon as you can to make sure that you're trading for this trading event tomorrow. So that's all from us here at Currency House, guys. We really hope you enjoyed the webinar today. We really hope to see you profiting tomorrow. And if you are interested in creating that live account and getting into that webinar for tomorrow, definitely let us know. You can feel free to email us at info@currencyhouse or email me personally, Matt@currencyhouse. Thank you guys so much. Please enjoy your evening and have yourself a fantastic week.